Well, Marcy, welcome to Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome to Georgia State University. I know it's only been a short time. What's impressed you the most about Atlanta?
The trees. The trees are gorgeous. Just driving on the freeway and just seeing all of that. The view of that compared to the view of mountains is complete opposite. We don't have the trees, so I've loved that. And then the people have been amazing.
Most of your life has been in the state of Utah.
Yes.
So this is a first for you to live outside your home state.
Yeah, in a sense. I went to California for a year, but yeah, in a sense, for sure.
All right, why Georgia State University at this time?
At this time, what I love about Georgia State is the people and culture that they have here, especially with the diversity. When you ask about why now and this time, because I've been at Salt Lake for so long, it's really why I coach, which is to empower and uplift. The JUCO level, I'm able to touch more lives. Now I feel Division I is JUCO, so it's why not do that and get more help, right? More hands on deck. So that's why I would say why now is because of the way the world is now. And then also I have two young children, and this is probably the best time to move because they're 3 and 2, so they're just ripping and running, but they don't have best friends yet, so I don't have to worry about that. But Georgia State is phenomenal, and I love, again, the culture and what it brings here.
Talk a little bit about, and tell Panther fans a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so I'm from Salt Lake City. I've been coaching at Salt Lake now for 14 years. I actually played at Salt Lake as well, and then I transferred to Utah Tech. It was called Dixie State back when I was playing. Then from there, I went and coached in California for a year and went back to Salt Lake when my coach before me, she's my biggest mentor, who I adore, she asked me to come be her assistant. So then I was there and I wrote her out and then I stayed. That's a little bit about me. I have 2 small kids. I'm a big people person, big relationships. I'm big about community.
You're coming from a program where you had a lot of success. 146 and 57 as the head coach at Salt Lake. Georgia State looks like we're getting one of the most accomplished winners in the junior college ranks. Talk about the success that you had, but the program building skills that helped get you to that level.
Yeah, honestly, Salt Lake's always been a powerhouse in every sport, if you look at that. It comes from a culture of winning, a background of winning. And the thing that's unique, same with Georgia State, is even though Georgia State's considered on-campus living, it's still kind of, in my mind, a commuter campus because it's in the middle of downtown. So with that, it brings similarities of how to recruit here. Biggest piece is recruiting, and that is what I do well at because I'm great with relationships. I love people, and I love getting to know people. That's what has made Salt Lake so successful, is the players we've been able to bring there and the thought of what I'm going to be able to bring here. And it's Atlanta. Who doesn't want to come to Atlanta, So me getting people to Utah, that's challenging in itself. But the chance to be able to bring kids here where everyone wants to come to Atlanta and you have the mecca of basketball in Georgia is just exciting. And then being able to bring the culture of what we've created at Salt Lake to here and how we do things there and how we're going to do it here is exciting. And just more about the people we're going to bring to cultivate the culture here of what we got there.
How would you describe the culture that you want to build at Georgia State? I guess that would be a reflection of what you built at Salt Lake Community College. But what are a few of the basics of building that culture and then sustaining that culture within your program?
Yeah. How I go about anything is how you do anything is how you do everything. So everything is about effort, hard work, dedication, pride. Pride is the biggest thing. Representing what you have on your chest, not the last name on the back, but what's on the front. So that's really how we highlight anything. Everything is about pride, hard work, dedication, and then love, first and foremost. There's tough love, for sure, but loving one another and playing for one another as a true sisterhood bond, that's what we're going to bring here.
And that's a culture, when we talk about it, it's kind of a broad description, but it's really, in my opinion, what goes on within the walls of that locker room that the outside viewing public may not see.
For sure. If you don't have a strong culture, you don't have people wanting to play for each other, then you can see that on the floor, right? You're not able to win championships or win together. You're winning individually. And when it's all about me, there's 5 people on the floor, and there's also people on the bench. So there's no way you're going to win games if it's just about me, me, me. So that's something that we highlight early on.
I know it's culture, it's recruiting. At the end of the day, recruiting is the lifeblood, as you well know, better than I do. But what does it take from your staff well, when you get your staff together from the players and the community to win at the level that you did at the JUCO ranks at Salt Lake Community College?
We all have to have the same vision, same values. So as I'm bringing my staff in, even the staff that I've had previously, it's all about, for me personally, your values and your morals as a person, and why you coach, which is for us to empower women. With that then brings unity, and unity is everything. You know, we have each other's backs through thick and thin, but we'll also be able to tell each other when we don't agree with stuff respectfully and understand why we don't, to then just make us stronger. But again, unity is the biggest part.
And you may have already answered part of this question, but you look back at your time at Salt Lake Community College, 3 regular season titles, 2 region championships, 2 national tournament appearances. When you look back at those teams and what they accomplished, which is a lot, what was the common denominator? In other words, what did each of those teams possess that maybe another team that you had did not possess that allowed them to reach the level of success that they did?
I feel like it's a little two-folded. The biggest thing I would say is probably the love for each other. You know, my teams that have enjoyed each other the most have been the most successful. The teams that are in there ready to learn, to work, that want to grow have been the most successful than the ones that are kind of just riding with it, per se. That'd probably be the difference maker, the ones that want to grow and the ones that have truly played for each other, truly enjoyed each other.
I'm sure the number 146 is a number that is special to you. You won 146 games in 7 seasons with a roster, and you know this at the JUCO ranks, that turns over historically a lot more than it does at Division I, which is no longer the case at Division I. How did you manage the turnover situation with your roster at Salt Lake?
Again, I want to touch lives. That's why I coach, is to touch lives and to empower women. So for me, as long as I can help them with their goal, which is what I always ask them, what is your goal, your end goal, not only with basketball, but in life. So if I want to help them reach that goal. So if they reach it within 1 year and they go, that's great. If they're there for 2, that's lovely as well. But again, it's about later in life and instilling principles for the long term, I guess to say. And so I feel like it's more about just building relationships. I'm big about relationships and being straightforward. The more straightforward I am with them, the easier it is for them to connect and the easier it is to turn it over. So I think that's what brings me so well in this realm is the fact of, one, evaluating talent and evaluating what's going to fit in the system that we run, as well as people, culture, character kids.
So that kind of leads me to the next question. You know, obviously your players at Salt Lake during your time there, the goal was to move on to a 4-year program, as you did as a Salt Lake student athlete. Player development, clearly a priority. What will that look like, and what do you bring to the practice floor and inside the locker room as you develop these young student athletes that'll be in your program?
Yeah, first thing is all about discipline and then all about teaching. I'm a great teacher, and I've been taught from the best. So teaching to me is key, and really it's about getting the players to understand pace and space. You know, on the floor, when one drives baseline, where should you shift to? Just certain things on the spacing, I guess to say, just on the floor of where you should be, and then defensively as well. So again, it's all teaching. Development is all teaching. And I think we get away from that, and we want to kind of go to the showboat, like what looks pretty, what looks cool, you know, the behind the back pass. I'm just a simple A to B. Just get from A to B, bring back the old school way, and you can sprinkle in the pretty stuff, you know, all the players like that. But again, development is going to be about what they do great now and how we can evolve them into better players. But it's going to come with hard work. And if they don't have that in their core, it's just not going to work. I am excited we get more time, you know, at the Division I level. At the JUCO level, we don't get the summers to develop them. So now the idea of being here and being able to have them in the summer to be more individually and then also more team is exciting.
Sounds to me like you're really going to emphasize fundamentals.
For sure.
And I underline that word, fundamentals. We hear it a lot, but sometimes we don't see it.
Oh, yeah. And even now, I think this day and age, it's gone. Being able to pass with both hands, pivot to pass. All the small details that you need are no longer here as much.
Well, you said it earlier, Atlanta's loaded with talent. in all sports, but especially women's basketball, what does it mean to now be able to recruit this city, and now Atlanta is your home turf?
I am super excited about it because I've always tried to get Georgia kids, Atlanta kids to Salt Lake, and they would be like, Coach, you know what? I'm sorry, I just can't see myself in Utah. And I'm just like, just come on the visit, come on the visit. So now being here and being able to really get those kids completely excites me because it is the mecca of women's basketball.
So when it comes to recruiting, having been in Salt Lake at the junior college level, will you recruit JUCO players? And is that a pipeline that's a little undervalued now that so much of the focus is on the transfer portal?
I do believe so, especially being a JUCO coach and seeing how it's kind of turned. Before we'd sign kids early and now we sign kids late because of the portal, or now we're trying to get it earlier because we want to do it before the portal happens. Because a lot of the coaches, as soon as the portal opens, just solely focused in there. And there's so many great junior college players out there that they get overlooked. So with my background in junior college, that's really where I'm hitting it hard first, is going junior college route. Obviously, you still need your high school kids as well. I want a high school kid that wants to come in and learn and eager to work, because I think they're also getting overlooked because everyone is so wrapped up in the portal. I still think the portal is important, but my main focus will be junior college.
This is a question now that you're at the Division I level, you've been at junior college, and you've recruited high school kids. Of the three, well, portal kids, JUCO kids, high school kids, when it comes to teaching and emphasizing fundamentals, is one of the three more open to learning from a coach?
You know, I would say out of all those three, there's one area you're missing, that's international. I think that international players typically come over a little more seasoned because they're used to playing in it's not a high school setting. So I would say I don't want to say it's easy is not even the word, but maybe they're more inclined to learn, to tweak things because they're already at a certain level. But other than that, I think JUCO kids are probably most adaptable because of the grind of JUCO, and then especially if they went to two different ones, they've had a high school coach, now they have a JUCO coach, now they come here. I think they've learned to be more adaptable than high school or portal.
So when you're out on the road recruiting, looking at potential now Georgia State players, when it comes to a junior college prospect as opposed to a D1 transfer or a high school, how do you evaluate differently looking at each of the three, or including international players, now four, as to what you would want to bring into your program?
So I guess I can go by section. With the portal kids, it's harder because everything's about money. I think a lot of the kids have lost touch of connection and wanting to really connect with coaches. I think a lot is wrapped up with the dollar figure now. So a lot of the players, especially for this level, if you're not a P4 school giving that kind of money, you're getting kids that maybe don't play, maybe don't have the stats. So now it's about looking at film from past years and then also just seeing them in person because they don't have the stats to really tell you, and they don't have the film at the school they've been at to really show you. Junior college, if you're especially in the top rankings of the junior college as far as Division I, there are some good Division II teams as well, but you're looking at those players that have competed and been able to show you what they can do, execute it every single day. Those stats are obviously, it's easier to see. High school kids, again, you got film, you got AAU, so that helps as well. International, that's a little harder based off of the kind of film they can get you unless they're playing in FIBA. So really it's just a little bit of everything, but at the end of the day, it's all about doing your homework. And I think with being at the junior college level, that's what I've been able to do the most, is learn how to do that, how to really break down a player and see what I need from that instead of just going straight off of, oh, they were at so-and-so, so now I'm going to get them. You know, it takes a lot more work than that.
So what would you say a non-negotiable is regarding a player when you are out looking at looking at recruits and potential student athletes to bring in?
Yeah, effort. Effort is a non-negotiable for me. Character, like if your teammate falls on the ground, do you go give them a high five? Energy, you know, you don't have to be like the super rah-rah, but like when a teammate makes a basket, do you go and slap their hand and get all excited, or do you just kind of just walk off on your own? So character and effort are non-negotiables when I'm recruiting.
Do you prioritize position or personality when it comes to building a roster?
Ooh.
And that probably figures into some of what goes on within the walls of the locker room.
Yeah, for sure. That's a tough one. Because you always first you look at what position you need, right? And then while I'm looking at the position, it goes to your character. So I would say you have to go by position first because you know what you need. You need all the pieces. And then while you're looking for that position, you look at their character.
Look into the Georgia State crystal ball. What do you want people to see when they look at your program, the Georgia State women's basketball program, in 3 seasons and 3 years from now?
I want them to see a whole new energy. We're going to bring a whole new energy, a whole new feel to Georgia State, and it's going to excitement. I want that to bring excitement for them. I want in the next 3 years to look down and be like, wow, like I can't wait to watch them. Like just the way they love each other, their energy, how hard they work, their dedication. Again, it's a whole new wave that I'm excited to bring.
How would you describe your style of play? So what will Panther fans at the Convocation Center see when your team hits the court?
Pace and space. Pace and space. So we're going to push it, but we're going to be very strategic. So if we don't have anything in transition, we will run a lot of sets. I have a lot of different motions that we do, very strategic in spacing and where you're placed at. Defensively, we're going to press, we're going to run, try to get early offense, not gamble on the ball, but off the ball. A lot of rebound, push and go. Any guard brings the ball up the floor. It's going to be a fun, fast pace of a game.
What do you want fans or recruits or anyone who's watching this video right now to know about you and your basketball program?
Again, I'm a relationship person. So coming to Georgia State isn't just about playing. You know, obviously you're going to play, but biggest thing is you're going to grow as a student, as an athlete, and as a woman. So if you're about winning, if you're about, culture building, if you're about fight, if you're about grit, then come to Georgia State.
Last question. As you mentioned earlier, a lot of recruiting now involves the dollar. But I was just curious, coming from Salt Lake City, coming from the junior college level, and before you accepted the job, looking from the outside in, what did you think about Georgia State? And what did you think about the Georgia State Convocation Center, which is going to be your new home?
So when I came here, first and foremost, it's beautiful. Facilities are beautiful. But I think, again, the thing that really got me are the people. Administration is phenomenal. I've been at Salt Lake for so long because of administration and because of the athletic department. Everyone's close. So my first net getting here, I loved that part of it, is the people. But the facilities are ridiculous. The arena is beautiful. For the girls to have 2 locker rooms, I'm like, hello, for recruiting. So everything is just higher stakes. Everything about it is beautiful, and I'm so excited to be here.
Well, Marcy, a pleasure to speak with you. Welcome to Georgia State. We look forward to seeing your team compete in the Convocation Center.
Thank you.